This video I want to speak about the top grossing movies of all time. Now, I'll talk about the first 100 movies, and this will be a good indication to show you, these are factual information to show you where the state of mind society is and what they appreciate and what this culture appreciates. As we know, the United States is like the world dominator, or supposed to be. They're supposed to be like a representation of the world and kind of a big influence for the world at large. So meaning, like, because we speak English, even though it may not be the best language and the most proficient, the fact of the matter is this is what America promotes, and they're going to try to push this language throughout the entire world to have everybody have an understanding of this language and to be able to speak and comprehend this language. So when it comes to our taste and as America as a whole, and what we value and what we're willing to spend our money on, that pretty much is dictating the world worldview and what they will put forth effort to try to produce to make us happy, and in a way try to make the whole world at large value these similar things. So what we value as a society really does kind of show where the society is at this current state. It also indicates and proves that martial arts is dead in America and in the world. It's really almost non-existent. They're not even really having any opportunities to tap into the movie industry because the money is not there, the support is not there, the appreciation is not there. So I'm gonna go over these movies, you know, and go down the list, and you'll see that none of these movies are martial art movies. These are all different movies from different types of genres and different types of interests that have really nothing to do with the martial arts. The number one movie is Avatar, and it has grossed $760 million domestically. That's the number one movie. So Avatar is like, it's fantasy based, you know, and it's computer graphic based and everything. So you see, the people are appreciating like computer technology and like more of like a fantasy, kind of far from reality, you know. So real martial arts is pretty much reality based, and it's really not something that the people are really appreciating. The next movie is Titanic. You know, this is a drama, a love story. This has nothing to do with martial arts, but that's the next top grossing film at $658 million. Alright. Next one after that is Marvel's The Avengers. It's a comic books movie, and this is another movie that's based off of fantasy. So you see like a lot of these superhero movies where, you know, people are having superhuman abilities and they are using computer technology to kind of enhance the people's abilities and things that are not reality based but based on fiction, based on fantasy. And this is another movie that pretty much is not a martial arts movie. It's more of a fantasy based movie. Next one is Harry Potter. Once again, another fantasy based movie. You see, like, the society is appreciating a lot of fantasy-based things. They're not even looking at real and reality-based movies, you know. Next one after that is Iron Man 3. Another comic book movie based off of fantasy and superhuman abilities, using a lot of computer technology and things like that. Next one after that is Transformers Dark of the Moon. Another comic book fantasy. Another one is Lord of the Rings, comic book fantasy. Skyfall, The Dark Knight Rises, another comic book fantasy. Pirates of the Caribbean, another fantasy. Toy Story 3. Alright, that one is number 11, and that one is just basically watching a cartoon. So you see that, how much money that generated, $415 million. Pirates of the Caribbean, Star Wars, Alice in Wonderland, The Hobbit, The Dark Knight, Harry Potter again, Jurassic Park, Pirates of the Caribbean, Harry Potter, The Lion King, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Finding Nemo, Shrek 2. So you see, all these movies that I'm stating are all, it's just like we're watching like enhanced cartoons, and this is what the culture highly values. They don't even want like real people that are really acting, that are really basing their reality on life. It's just all a lot of computer graphics, a lot of fantasy, and just a lot of enhancement through computer generation and things like that. Next one after that, Finding Nemo, Shrek 2, Harry Potter, Spider-Man 3. These are, Spider-Man 3 is more of like an action movie. These are not martial arts. None of the stuff that I mentioned right now is martial arts. None of it. Ice Age, Harry Potter again, Ice Age again, The Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Transformers, Twilight Saga, Inception, Spider-Man, Independence Day. You see all these movies right here? Everything that I'm stating is not martial arts. A lot of it is focused on like looking into the future and what's going to happen in the future, things that people are not commonly familiar with in real life situations. Shrek the Third is after that, it's number 39. Harry Potter, E.T., Indiana Jones, Spider-Man 2, Star Wars, 2012, The Da Vinci Code, Shrek Forever After, The Amazing Spider-Man, Chronicles of Narnia, The Matrix Reloaded. Now, The Matrix Reloaded is a movie that's action. There may be some choreographed fight scenes in there, but it's still not a martial arts movie. This is action and things like that. 51 is Madagascar 3, and then Up, Fast and Furious 6, The Twilight Saga, Transformers, Twilight Saga, Mission Impossible. Okay, so you got somebody in Mission Impossible, for example, is Tom Cruise playing the leading role. He's not a martial artist, but it's an action movie, and that's generating some income. Number 59, The Hunger Games. Number 60, Forrest Gump. Clearly not a martial arts movie, just basically Tom Hanks, movie based on, teaching people about life, alright? The Sixth Sense. Now, 62 is Kung Fu Panda 2. Now you see, this is not like a hardcore martial arts movie like Bruce Lee or Jet Li or anything. This is Kung Fu Panda 2. Pretty much like geared towards the kids, kind of making fun of the Kung Fu thing and making people laugh. It's a comedy. It's not a martial arts film. But that is number 62, grossing $165 million. Number 63 is Ice Age, and then Pirates of the Caribbean, Star Wars, Man of Steel. Number 67 is Kung Fu Panda. So this Kung Fu Panda thing is taking off, it's making some money, but once again, this is not real martial arts. I mean, we're talking about Kung Fu Panda here, okay? But this is what is making the money. I'm telling you, Kung Fu Panda is making more money than Bruce Lee, than Jackie Chan, than Jet Li, than all these people that practice like something like more reality based. No, it's a cartoon making fun of the Kung Fu, making people laugh. That's what's making money. Okay, it's not like the real Kung Fu, like the real martial arts movies that's making the money. Number 68, The Incredibles, Fast 5, Hancock, MIB 3, Iron Man 2, Ratatouille, The Lost World, The Passion of Christ, Mamma Mia, Life of Pi, Madagascar, Casino Royale. Casino Royale is just basically like a James Bond movie. It's not martial arts, it's a lot of gun shooting, a lot of violence and action, okay? Despicable Me 2, War of the Worlds, Tangled, Men in Black, The Hangover Part 2, Quantum of Solace, I Am Legend, Iron Man, The Cruise, Night at the Museum, The Smurfs, Monsters, Cars 2, Puss in Boots, Armageddon, King Kong, Ted, Mission Impossible 2, Sherlock Holmes, The Day After Tomorrow, Despicable Me. Now, that I just listed 100 movies, and none of them are martial arts. Okay, so this is just clear evidence and factual information to show you that this world does not appreciate the real martial arts, and that's why you're not going to see it in film. anymore. The time has passed, because martial arts was a big thing before all this computer technology, before the internet, before they had the ability to, you know, do all the stuff that they're doing right now in film, with like things like X-Men and Spider-Man making people fly and do all this crazy stuff, like transform and transport and change images like nothing like that, and having Wolverine have his claws come out of nowhere. We're in a time and age right now where they got the technology for film to take it to a level where it's just all fantasy. It's nothing that you can ever even replicate in reality ever. You know, and people watch movies and films because they want to jump into a fantasy world. They're not content with this, you know, real to life stuff. You know, real to life movies may be like movies like Godfather, Menace to Society, you know, A Bronx Tale, the Bruce Lee films. It's never gonna get back to that. It's not, because that's not where the money is. You know, that's something of the past, and it's never gonna be repeated. This is the world, the society, what the people are spending their money on and what they want is not that. It's the fantasy. The world is clearly valuing fantasy over reality. And real martial arts is reality based, but not based off of fantasy. But the people, that's not what they want. They want to pay for the fantasy. So that's what's being delivered, that's what's being produced, that's what's generating the millions of dollars. So that's where the movie industry is. So basically martial artists are not going to be found in film. They're not. It's done. The era is over. It's like we got the cell phone now, they're not going back to the landlines. We got the vehicles now, we're not going back to the horse. You understand? This world has changed so much that martial arts is no longer gonna be in the entertainment industry. You know, and what's left, you know, they are destroying the reputation with the martial arts with all this combat sport, but that's not martial arts either. And really there's nowhere else for the martial arts to go. It's not going in film because there's no money there. And the real martial arts, there's no way to profit, so what they do is they just throw people together to fight and call it martial arts, but that's not martial arts. You know, so basically it's just like a small niche of people in this world that really do appreciate the real martial arts, and those are just a small part of the population. You know, you might be talking about 1 or 2% of the population that really does truly value the martial arts, and then everybody else is more like action and comedy and fantasy. You know, but the real martial arts is not for the majority of the people. The majority of the people, you could clearly see from these reports and these earnings and these stats, this is factual information to show you that martial arts is dead. You know, it's not gonna be in mainstream ever again. It's done. It's over. It's gonna be underground, and it's gonna remain underground, and just the small amount of percentage of the population that appreciates it, it's just gonna stay at that. That's how I see it. This is some information that supports what I see. You know, I don't. You know, I'm just being real about it. I'm being honest about it. It's not. There's no longer going to be martial arts in film anymore. It's done. That's not where the money is. We are looking at people that are just acting in roles where it's action-packed, throw on a bunch of computer-generated stuff and just go off with it, and that's where all the money is, and that's where it's going to stay. And you see all those movies, none of them starred an Asian person. None of them. None of them. So that's another thing that I'll show you, where Hollywood is, where the culture is, and what they value, and how they pretty much push out and block out the minorities, especially the Asians, from, you know, playing any type of major roles. It stops there. There's not going to be any Asian stars ever again. It's done. It's going to be all Caucasians and some blacks, and that's it. So that's what I see, and that's the reality that I see, and these facts support what I see. I'm just basing it off of reality. So the real martial arts is going to be hidden. It's going to be something that you might see every so often through the people around you that practice it and that appreciate it. You'll see it on YouTube, but you are not going to see it in the mainstream. You see the combat sport, and you see the entertainment, action, that's it. Martial arts is not in the mainstream. It's done.